Good morning class. Today I am taking here the video how to solve the English question paper for the 10th standard, because many of the students do not know about the question paper format. So, I am telling here the question paper format. Each and every student must know that is the question, the nature of the question and how many marks and for what points are there we should get full marks or the out of marks, and for that purpose I am telling here about the question paper format for the 10th standard, and I am telling here about the mix, that is semi students as well as the English medium students. So, I am telling here how to solve the question paper format. The first question, language study. First I am telling about the semi student and then I am telling about the English medium students. First, that is semi students. One, that is A, out of 6 questions you have to solve 4 questions for the 8 marks. For the language study 10 marks are there, but A and B is there. A for 6 questions and the 6 sentences you have to solve. Out of 6 you have to solve 4 sentences. Each sentence carry 2 marks, mean that is about the 8 marks, that is about the A. And then the B, here the B, for that 2 sentences or 2 questions will be there, you have to solve only 1 sentence, only 1 question, 2 marks, mean that is 8 and 2 marks, that is 10 marks for the semi students. Now, I am turning to the English medium students. English medium student, there are A1, A2 and B, there is A1, A2 and B. That is A1, that is out of 5 questions you have to solve only 4 questions for the 4 marks, means here each sentence carry 1 mark. Then A2, out of 3 questions you have to solve only 2 questions, but here each question carries 2 marks and that is 4 marks are there. Now, B, there is out of 2 questions you have to solve only 1 question and each question means each sentence carry 2 marks, that is about the language study. Whole means English as well as semi students, 10 marks are there language study, but the questions are different, that is about the question number first. Now, I shall turn to the question number second, that is scene passages. There are 2 scene passages and each passage carry 10 marks. Here there are 5 types of questions, A1, A2, A3, A4 and A5. What is about the A1? A1, that is simple factual, true or false and agree disagree. All over the question paper if you see there are 3 stages are there. 40% question paper that is simple, 40% question paper that is complex and 20% question paper that is challenging. And here also the first question, that is simple factual, very easy question for the 2 marks. There you will see that is true or false, agree disagree. Now, A2, that is complex. Here complete the verb or proper sequence. There is complete the verb, there you should get their verb, you have to complete there, or the 4 sentences will be there, you have to put in their sequence. Now, A3, that is about the vocabulary. Vocabulary, that is make verb, noun, adverb, adjectives, or another that is match the words, find out synonyms, find out antonyms, that type of questions will be asked for the A3 vocabulary questions. Now, A4, that is grammar, any type of grammar they will ask here, mean related to the passage, means the sentence will be given from the passage. And now, that is last question, personal response, A5, very important question, because you won't find that answer of that questions of the answer in the passage, that is personal, you have to write your own opinion. Here I dictate here self opinion is expected, at least 4 sentences must be there, at least 4. Your self opinion is there, it may be positive, it may be negative, but what do you think about that question, what do you think about that passage, that you have to write here, that is about the personal questions. Many of the students neglect to the personal questions and they delete their marks also there. So, every student must write that personal questions, and for that practice I am telling here about that, must pay attention to the personal question. That is about question number second. Now, we shall turn to the question number third, that is poetry. Here there are two types, that is A and B. First, that is A, comprehension. You will find there in the question paper one poem will be given there, and read that poem and try to give the answers of that questions. That is comprehension question. A1, A2 and A3. A1 that is simple factual, A2 that is complex, and A3 that is poetic device. The marking scheme that is here, A1 simple factual 2 marks are there, A2 complex there is 2 marks are there, and A3 that is poetic 1 marks, means total 5 marks, that is A. And now B, that is write an appreciation. Another type of that is question, another poem will be given there, you have to read the poem and write an appreciation. There 5 points will be there for the appreciation. For the appreciation there are also 5 marks. One point is there, title, author, then rhyme scheme, figure of speech and central idea. For the semi-student, I am telling here, you semi-students have to write point-wise appreciation. Point-wise means every person. Like that here, title and author carry half and half marks, means 2 points, 1 mark. Then the rhyme scheme 1 mark, figure of speech 1 mark, and central idea 2 marks. That is 5 marks for the appreciation. It is for the semi-student. Now I am telling about English medium student. English medium students have to write the appreciation in the paragraph format, not the point wise, paragraph format. You have to write, means these points you have to use, you have to pay attention, that is whole point, 5 points are there, but you have to write there paragraph writing, paragraph format is there. That is about here also 5 marks are there. That is about question number 3. Now we shall turn to the second, that is question number 4. Here question number 4, that is unseen passage, and unseen passage here question number 4 carries 15 marks. The broadest means very big marks are there. Question number 4, that is unseen. Unseen means what is not non-textual passage, mean out of the text. Students don't study the whole year about the passage, and that first time they want to read that passage and try to give them, but it is not very difficult, very easy question. Question number 4, that is here are also 5 types of questions, A1, A2, A3, A4 and 5. That is personal, A5 is personal. You will find that all that is seen passage question, means you will find seen passage. We have seen question number 2, there are seen passages A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. That type of questions you will find there. Here A1 also simple factual, A2 also complex, A3 also vocabulary, A4 also grammar, and A5 that is personal response. Each question carry 2 marks, and so the passage reading comprehension for the 10 marks. Now we shall turn to the question number 4, B. That is different question, summary writing for the. Many of the students find it is difficult question. It is not difficult, very easy question. You will get out of 5 marks for the summary writing. So for the summary writing, I have taken here some points here. How should you write the summary? There, first point, that is take main points in brief. Main point means while reading the passage, first you have to read two times you have to read, and while reading the passage you have to tick mark there or put underline very important points are there. Then leave out means omit there, delete there. What is that? Dates, names and examples and repetitions. You have to delete there, means don't take in that summary, that is dates, names, examples and repetitions. You don't take in that summary. Now the third point, use conjunctions and relative clauses here, means you have to minimize their passage. You have to minimize because that is 1/3. You have to write the summary. So use conjunctions and make 2 sentences with 1, like that. Use conjunctions. They do not change the meaning of it. Means what is the original meaning and the passage. Do not try to change here. Next point, that is summary should be your own words. Means don't write. Many of the students try that is means first sentence, then 4th sentence, then 6th sentence, right there. Do not write that sentence from the passage. You have to convert it in your own sentences. Means own language must be there. Now the next point, do not give any personal opinion. Means your personal opinion not here. Personal response, that is different question, and you don't include here your personal opinions. Now next point, that is use a present tense. Only present tense is used here, and then it should be 1/3 of the passage, and then give a suitable title, because title is important because title carries 1 mark. There for summary writing 5 marks are there, and title carries 1 mark and 4 marks for the your passage writing. So, and another point is here, you have to write only one passage, don't write the another paragraph, another. The passage should be 1 or 2 or 3 passages, three paragraphs will be there, but you have to write only one paragraph. Remember that one point is here. That is about question number 4. Now we shall turn to the question number 5, that is letter writing for 5 marks. Here, letter writing, you will find there 2 types of letter, that is formal letter and informal letter. That is, first we will see the formal letter. Formal letter means there is formula must be there. You have to write the official letters. You have to write a letter to the bookseller, then the Prime Minister, Chief Minister, many, that is office letter, that is official letter. We shall see that is formal letter. And another, that is informal letter, mean that is relatives. You will write father, mother, friend, their brother, sister, uncle, like that. That is informal letter. There are 2 types of letters will be given here, and you have to choose only one, formal or informal, but each letter carry 5 marks. First, read 2 letters, means formal and informal, and while reading you have to decide in your mind which letter you will write very good manner, which letter is you are capable to write more and more, and then choose one. Means don't write only formal, don't write only informal, but you have to write whole the sentence, whole subject, formal and informal, and decide in your mind which letter you are capable, and then decide formal or informal. Both letter carry 5 marks. There are points are there. You should write that points. If you observe these points, you will get that marks. Sender's address means you are writing the letter, so the set is sender's address, half marks. Recipient address, half marks, that is formal letter. The subject, half marks. Then body of the letter, 2 marks. Conclusion, 1 marks, that is correct use of grammar, 1 mark. Mean that is 5 marks are there for the formal letter. And marking scheme of the informal letter, same, something different is there. Sender's address, half marks. Salutation, half marks. Then body of the letter, 2.5 marks. Here body of the letter only 2 marks, and here informal letter body of the letter 2 marks. What is difference here? That recipient address in the formal letter carry half mark. Here informal letter there is no recipient address, so there is not marks for that. Then conclusion, 1 marks. Total 5 marks for the letter writing. Means you have to choose formal or informal. Decide in your mind first while solving the question paper. Decide which question is very easy for you, and then decide formal and informal. But according to my opinion, the formal question or the formal letter you will get more marks comparing with the informal letter. So carry and practice more and more about the formal letter. That is about the question 5. Now we shall turn to the question number 5B. 5B, that is for the semi students, not English medium students. I am telling for the only semi students. That is B1 or B2. 5 marks question is there. B1, what is that? Dialogue writing. Dialogue means here there is 3 types of questions here, A, B and C. What is A? There A for that, prepare a dialogue jumbled one. 4 sentences will be there, and then they will be in the jumbled sentence. You have to put in the correct sequence there. Very easy, simple factual question for the 1 mark. That is A. Now B, complete the dialogue. 2 characters will be given there. 2 participants will be given there, and 1 sentence will be given. I mean 2 sentences will be given. You have to write add 2 sentences. That is complete the dialogue for 1 mark. A for 1 mark, B for 1 mark, complete the dialogue, and C, that is challenging, write the dialogue based on the given theme. You will be given there 1 subject will be there, and you have to write their dialogue, full dialogue. Minimum 3 exchanges, mean minimum 6 lines, 6 sentences will be there, and you have to carry on. You have to go for that subject, what is given, what is needed here, you have to write. But for the only 3 exchanges not expected here. You have to begin that conversation with the manners, because English language is the full of manners, mannerism language, and so you have to begin with the dialogue, the manners. That is for the 3 marks for that. A for 1 mark, B for 1 mark, and C for the 3 marks. Total the dialogue writing carry 5 marks is there. Now there is alternative. If you don't don't want to write the dialogue writing, there is speech writing. Another question, that is B2, B1 or B2, you have to choose one. Here is B2. B2 for the speech writing means, suppose in your school there is elocution competition and you have to predict there, you have to give there the speech, that is speech writing. What is their speech writing? The subject will be given there, and here while writing the speech, their beginning will be there, mean that is here all the participants gathered here, and the honorable chief guests, respected headmaster, teachers, and all respected my friends, today I am telling about that, means attractive beginning is there, and so appropriate beginning for the 1 mark. Then the body, what is the subject, how do you depict there, what do you want to speak here, say that is for the 2 marks are there. Then appropriate sequence of flow and language, how can you speak, here writing is here and you have to write more and more for that 1 mark, and the appropriate use of grammar for the 1 marks, means total carries dialogue writing 5 marks. You have to choose B1 or B2, dialogue or speech writing. Which one is easy for you, you have to choose here, mean that is dialogue or speech writing, but only for the semi student, not for the English medium students. That is about question number 5. Okay. Now we shall turn to the question number 6. Question number 6, both means semi as well as English medium student. Question number 6, that is information transfer. Two means different types of the question, that is information, means some information will be given, some suggestions will be given there, and you have to write here, that is paragraph, here that is information transfer. Here also you will find A1 or A2. A1, what is that, verbal to non-verbal, and A2, that is non-verbal to verbal, both types of. What is verbal means their passage will be given there and you have to write there, you have to complete the table or the pie chart or the tree diagram, like that. That is non-verbal. Verbal means the sentence, full sentence which carries the verbs, that is verbal, and non-verbal means no need of the verb, only points should be there, that is called a non-verbal. In the first set is verbal to non-verbal, their full passage will be there, about 15 to 20 sentences will be there, and you have to read the passage and only points. What are the points? Their table will be there, the pie chart will be there, their tree diagram will be there. You have to write only points and only point, which are very, very important. Very easy question, but you have to write only points, not full sentence. That is non-verbal. That is non-verbal. That type of sentence, that type of question is here, and totally different, totally, that is opposite, non-verbal to verbal. Here points will be given here, here the tree diagram will be given there, their table will be given there, and you have to write, that is paragraph, that is verbal. You have to use full sentence, subject, verb and object, like that. That type of full sentence you have to write here, means that you have to write the paragraph. That is paragraph writing. Means here verbal to non-verbal and non-verbal to verbal, both types of sentence you have to choose, which is very easy, you have to write there. Means both questions are very, very easy, but you have to think first which is very easy, verbal to non-verbal or non-verbal. If you have lot of time, you can write the paragraph. If you have to save the time, you can choose their non-verbal, because for the non-verbal only points and points there, means the draw a diagram like that, draw a tree diagram like that, and only points are there. What are the marking scheme for the question number 6? That is marking scheme for the non-verbal to verbal. Title 1 mark, means each question you have to write their title. Title must be there. That is title 1 mark. Covering all points 2 marks, means which points are given there. Covering all points 2 marks. Appropriate grammar 1 mark, and overall presentation, how should you depict there, how should you write there, that is overall 5 marks should be given there for the question number 6, that is A1 or A2, both semi as well as English medium students. That is question number 6A. Now we shall turn to the question number 6B. First I will tell about the semi student, question number 6B. What is the semi student? There is expand the theme. B1 or B2 there, B1 or B2 for the semi students. What is that expand theme? First, that is news report or develop a story. News report or develop a story, means the news report or you have to write there develop a story. Both are there, B1 or B2. B1 that is news report and B2 that is develop a story. What is news report? What should you write? There the headline will be given there, and there are also point. Headline, then the dateline, the intro, mean that is introduction, then there will be main body and the conclusion. 5 points will be there, and you have to write all those points. The news report is very easy. The headline will be given there, and you have to write the news, that is what happened, where it happened, you have to write there. That is about the news report. And there will be story. For the story writing, you will be given there only one line. It will be beginning or it will be end, and you have to imagine that story, what happened, where happened, what was the result, what was the main characters, all, and that is title must be there. If you write only title, you won't get marks. Title as well as the story will be there, and then you will get marks. That is news report as well as story writing. You have to choose which is very. I think both are very easy. Both are very. News report is very easy. Story. If you decide to write a story, you must imagine that is what happened. First fix the story. First remind the story in your mind, and then write on your answer book. But if you don't know that story, it is the best way to write the news report. What are the marking scheme for that 6B for the same student? That is title and beginning 1 mark, vocabulary and grammar 1 mark, covering all points 2 marks, and logical order conclusion, that is 1 mark. That is for the story writing, marking scheme is here. And for the news report, there is headline, dateline, then intro, that is introduction, main body, and the conclusion. That will be very easy. That is question. That is about the news report. Question number 6B. That is for the same student. Now we shall turn to the English medium students. Here question B, that is for English medium students. Here also you will find B1 or B2. That is B1. B1, that is drafting a speech. B1, that is drafting a speech. What will there means, we have seen like that this semi student speech writing. Here is also same question, that is drafting a speech. Means here the beginning will be there, honorable chief guest, respected headmaster, teachers, like that beginning. Today I am telling about, means how you can speech. Here the elocution competition or there is meeting is there, you have to deliver a speech. That is speech writing is here. What are the marking scheme for that is drafting a speech? Here appropriate beginning and conclusion, that is 1 mark. Given points, means points will be given there. You have to use each and every point, that is for the 2 marks. Appropriate sequence and flow of language 1 mark, and appropriate grammar 1 mark. Means there are, you will find that 5 marks will be there for the 6B English medium student. And now that is B2, B1 or B2. You have to choose B1 or B2. If you don't write to speech writing, you have to write here counter view. What do you mean by counter view? Totally opposite, totally antithesis, totally opposite you have to write here. Means like that. Suppose I will give here one example there. The village life is better than the city life. That is subject. Village life is better than the city life. But here you have to write city life is better than the village life. Means totally opposite. Means which subject will be given here, you have to write the opposite. That is the counter view. View and counter view. What is the marking scheme here? That is proper beginning conclusion 1 mark, appropriate vocabulary and grammar 1 mark, expressing opinion. You have to write your opinions. You have to write opinions here. Opinions for the 2 marks, and appealing thoughts means what do you expect? What do you think about that overall subject? Overall, what should you write here? Means that is opposite. How it is better, how it is not good, like that. You have to write their own opinions for the 1 mark. That is about the counter view. View or counter view. Question number 6 B2. B1 or B2, you have to choose 1 mark. Total carries 5 marks. Means B1 also 5 marks, B2 also 5 marks, but you have to write only one question, that B1 or B2. That is about question number 6. Question 5 we have seen, question number 6. Now next, question number 7. First I am telling about semi student. That is the last question, question number 7 for the semi student. Very easy question, simple. That is translation. Translate into your mother tongue. That 3 questions will be there, A, B and C. A, there will be, you find 6 words there. You have to translate 4 words there, and each word carry half marks, total 2 marks for the words. Total 2 marks. Very easy words will be given there. Now B, that is sentence. 4 sentences will be given there, and you have to write only 2 sentences. But I according to my opinion, I think that you have to solve 4 sentences. You have to carry only 2 sentences here, but 2 marks are there. A 2 marks, B 2 marks, and the C, that is Adams or proverbs, 2 proverbs will be given there. You have to translate 1 proverb, that is 1 mark. Means A 2 marks, B 2 marks, and C 1 marks. Total 5 marks will be given. That is for the translation question, question number 7, that the semi question paper closed here. Semi students question paper closed here. Now English medium student, question number 7, that is also big question. Question number 7 for the English medium students. Now I am telling here about the question number 7 for the English medium. Here you will find also A1 or A2. A1 or A2. You have to choose only one, A1 or A2. What is A1? That is expand the theme. Here you have to enlarge, expand the theme. The subject will begin there, and you have to enlarge the subject. That is first, that is expand the theme. The one proverb will be given there, or one statement will be given there. Means suppose that is means student should be given mobiles. What should you do? What should you think about that? That type of questions will be given there. Expand theme. What is the marking scheme there here? Title and beginning 1 mark. Vocabulary and grammar 1 mark, appropriate points 1 mark, logical order 1 mark, and conclusion, that is 1 mark. 5 marks for that is expand the theme. We have to here only one statement, only one sentence will be given there, and you have to enlarge and enlarge. About 3 or 4 paragraphs you have to write here. 3 or 4 paragraphs, and with these points you have to use here. Means if you use all these, the board will give you for 5 points. They will find, the examiner will find that the points, what points are there, and they will give the marks. So you have to carry the full points will be there. With the points, if you write, you will get out of marks. That is about the expand the theme A1. Now we shall turn to the report writing A2. You have to choose A1 or A2. A2, that is report writing. Now what is the report writing? Means news report. First we have seen in the semi paper, that is same question, that is report writing, news report. What is the marking scheme for the news report? First, that is title or headline, that is 1 mark, logical sequence 2 marks, appropriate grammar 1 mark, and conclusion layout 1 mark. Same points are there. Means that is headline, dateline, introduction, main body, and conclusion. 5 points will be there. You have to write the news report, report writing A1 or A2. Question number 7 for the English medium students. Each question carry 5 marks. Now we shall turn to the last question for the English medium students. Question number 7B, B1, B2. That is last question in the question paper. You will find there only for the English medium students. What is B1 and what is B2? B1, that is develop a story, and B2, that is narrate an experience. That is story. What is story here? One line will be, it will be beginning or it will be end. It will be beginning or it will be end. And B2, that is narrate. Same question, narrate. Suppose in your life one incident happened, it will be imaginary, no doubt, but you have to write here, you have to narrate the experience. That is one kind of story type here. Both means story and narration, same question, but you have to write more and more, at least 3 or 4 paragraphs, big paragraphs you have to write here. That is writing expected question here, means that is story writing and there is narration question. But while writing, don't make any kind of mistake. If you make mistake, the marks will be cut down here. So you will need less the marks. So write is story writing. Now what is expected in the story writing? The title must be there. If you write a title, but if you write only title, you won't get marks. You have to write the full story, what happened, introduction, the main body, the conclusion, what happened, which are the main characters. That is you decide and that give the title. That is about the story writing. And the narrate and experience means suppose one sentence will be given there. In the summer vacation, you were studying the subject. In the afternoon time, you were studying. What happened? What happened? You have to imagine, use imagery. Total question depend on the imagery. That is, you have to use your imaginary power and write that question. What is the marking scheme for the question number 7B? That is title and beginning 1 mark, vocabulary and grammar 1 mark, appropriate point 1 mark, logical order 1 mark, and conclusion for the 1 mark. Total 5 marks, that you have to choose B1 or B2. The whole question we have seen, that is whole question paper carries 80 marks, carries 80 marks for the English medium students as well as the semi students. And while going to the question paper, while going to the board exam, don't become nervous, don't take any kind of stress. Without stress, you go, and beginning to the end, from beginning to the end, the 180 minutes you will get there, means that is 3 hours. You have to solve whole paper. Again, another point is here, you have to write separate question on the separate page. Don't mingle, don't mix many questions in same page. Separate question for the separate page you have to write it. The first read the question in your mind, and then don't become the haste. Yes, I have to write, I have to complete, I have to complete. Don't become the, don't worry about that. Don't become a haste, but think very clearly, very silently, and then decide which question is easy. First, choosing a question is also very important. Choosing a question, suppose here B1 or B2, A1 or A2, choose which question is very easy, I can solve it, I can write more and more for that question, choose first. What happened, some of the students do like that, means first read only first question, right, oh I don't forget, I don't, now they means dash it and another started. That is not expected here, that is not good. So you have to choose question, read for that person, read the question very carefully, and decide in your mind which question is very easy, and then you decide it. Okay, that is about the question paper format. If you follow these rules and think over the marking scheme, you will get out of marks, 80 out of 80 you will get marks. But for that purpose, you have to practice more and more. Okay, best of luck. Thank you very much.